Yeah, it's been gorgeous out there today, I have to say.
Yep, and it's been like this all day too. So it's not been like, oh, a bit cloudy, then a bit sunny, then a bit cloudy, then a bit. It's been lovely.
Yeah, absolutely. Wait, where did you go for your walk today?
Oh, that's my backyard.
Really? Wow.
Yes. You know, when Australians say they're going walkabout,
Yep.
and they refer to it as their backyard.
Yes.
Well, that's my backyard that you've seen today. It's literally from my front door to up where I first started to, well, where the goats are. So from my front door to where the goats are, 5 minutes.
Wow. That's really cool. We've got something similar. We got the marshes where we live, which
Right.
is, yeah, again, it's amazing. It's really, really
And
cool.
can you walk through them? Is it boggy?
No, so what there is, I don't know when it was created, but there's like this bank that has I think it has pipes that move, that go all the way through. I don't actually know for sure.
Right.
It's a bit like a rampart that you can walk on. It's really cool.
All right. Yeah.
So, yeah, we didn't do that today, but we do it most days. I think we take the dog, even if it's only part of the way. We take the dog down there most days. But yeah, it's we're very lucky to have that. And in 2020, that was our, we were doing that every day.
That was your go-to place. Yeah, whenever. Yeah, well, for me, I don't even remember lockdowns at all because
Yeah.
for me, I just didn't pay any attention whatsoever. The only time it ever sort of became something in my life was if I was going into town and I was in the local shop and I'd get some nutter saying, "You're standing too close to me. You don't stand so close to me." And I'm like, in my head, I'm just like, "Oh, fuck off."
That's funny.
So yeah, lockdowns never affected me one bit, and I don't understand why people sort of fell for it. To be fair, never bothered me, never stopped me. I still went out, and yeah,
Absolutely, yeah,
carried on with my life.
absolutely.
Are you going to explain tonight about the summer solstice and how to, why is it different each year or most years? Because it's different this year from normally. Because normally it's the 21st, but today it's the 20th. Are you going to go into all that tonight, Angie?
I might touch on that.
Because today's the longest day, isn't it?
Yes.
So back when the sun sets tonight, when the sun sets tomorrow night, it will be slightly less light.
Yes.
Only fractionally, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But normally it's on the 21st, isn't it? Normally it would be tomorrow. I think it's more to do with our Gregorian calendar and.
Oh yeah, definitely. So if I was working, I'm still in the process because obviously it takes a whole year to create this lunar calendar that I'm creating.
Right.
But it was going to be interesting to see if the solstice falls on the same lunar month.
Right,
previous,
yeah.
It's going to be very interesting once that kind of experiment is kind of ongoing, so to speak. But it can fall anywhere between the 20th and the 22nd of June.
Yeah.
It's not very often,
for the
but
winter solstice.
yes.
When people say to me, "Oh, Christmas, Christmas, Christmas," I don't celebrate Christmas, and then you always get that look, and I'm like, "Well, I'm not a Christian.
Yeah.
I'm not religious.
Exactly.
However, I do celebrate the winter solstice."
Yeah.
And they look at you and it's like, "What do you mean the winter solstice?" And I'm like, "Well, 90% of what you celebrate in quotation marks Christmas time is actually a full-on pagan event, and it was only hijacked by the bloodthirsty Christians who wanted to conquer everybody."
Absolutely. Absolutely. Excuse my French.
And it's the same. It's the same with Easter. There's so much confusion. It's like, well, what's bunny rabbits got to do with Jesus, blah, blah, well, because traditionally it's a pagan festival celebrating the birth of a new harvest. It's when everything begins. It's when everything comes alive. And it's only the bloodthirsty Christians that came along and hijacked it for their own propaganda.
Yeah, and to try and fool the the natives. It's like, okay.
We'll slaughter you if you disagree with us because you're pagans, and then on the other hand, we'll try and convert you to Christianity.
Absolutely.
It's like,
it's all very weird, isn't it? It's all very.
It's evil. It really is. People laugh at me when I say it to them. I said, it's the axis of evil. The axis of evil. What do you mean? So Judaism, Christianity, and Islam is the axis of evil. Hi, Deborah.
Hi, Deborah.
Yeah, I thought I'd better explain my profile picture, being as you're going on about Christianity.
I can't see it. It's that tiny. Hang on. Oh, leave me alone. Have a nice life. Don't rant at me about common law not working if you work. Don't rant at me about common law not working if you work. I don't get that.
Well, it's what somebody said to me. So the message, it's not on here, not on anyone on this group, but somebody on the group that is part of a live group. Told me to leave him alone and have a nice life because I said common law doesn't work if you work, because it doesn't to a certain extent. So, but he has a big cross on his chest. You're talking about Christianity and how it can be misleading, and he's got this big cross on his chest, and he said, leave me alone and don't speak to me because I had a different opinion.
Yeah, I've delved into that whole common law rabbit hole years and years ago, and I've come to the conclusion that it's literally a rabbit hole. And whilst there are common law laws that you can use, if you agree to consent to non-common law rules, then you're throwing away your common law rights, as far as I understand it.
Yeah, and I totally agree with you on that. Sorry, I've interrupted your conversation. Do you want me to?
No, that's all right.
Well, yeah, because then that's more prominent when you work, because I found, when I go into work, one of the things I was told, well, when I worked at the council, it's obvious, isn't it? They said, you have to pay your council tax. Now I've moved to the civil service. They've said, before you can join us, you have to make sure all your finances are managed. Well, I've run up thousands of pounds of council tax not paying it. There you go.
Wow, that's mad.
So you're a bit of a rebel then, are you, Deborah?
Yes, I'm afraid so, or I'm not afraid.
No, we're all rebels here.
That's good.
So, Anthony, are you ready for your show? Are you going to start the recording, or do you want me to start it?
You can start it if you want. I don't mind.
No. The less I have to do, the better.
Okay, let me do that.
Have you done it before? Do you want me to do it? Or are you not sure how to do it?
No, it's okay. I can do that. I'm doing it right now.
Okay, go. And just before you press start to record, just to let you know that Eli is off on some summer solstice retreat today.
Oh,
nice. For a few days, so the whole evening is all yours.
Well, hey.
So I'm going to mute myself. Have a great show. Thanks for joining us, Deborah. Let's enjoy what Angie has to say.
Cool. Right, start recording. Fantastic. Hi, so I'm Angie. I'm a witch and occultist, a sound healer, and all sorts of other things as well. So this evening, let me just grab my notes. So Andy asked the question about am I going to touch on the solstice and the energy of that and why it can sometimes be on different dates, same with the winter solstice. So I will just start with that. So obviously this is the longest day today. So this is where the solar energy is at its maximum today. So if you ever wanted to do any solar magic, today's the day. Although we actually did ours on Sunday, because Sunday is the day of the sun. And for me, I got a very clear message that Sunday, last Sunday, was the day to do the solar magic. So we did it last Sunday. But obviously today is good too. So the solstice obviously is a tipping point. In mythologies, that can be the Oak King battling the Holly King. The Holly King wins because then it's the return of the darkness or the lessening of the light. Yeah. And then at the winter solstice, it's the other way around. It can also be the robin and the wren. So the wren representing the light, the robin representing the dark, for want of a better word. So pardon me, there's lots of mythologies around this particular time of the year. But it's a big tipping point. So what it signifies is the pinnacle of the light, which is why it's why I thought about doing this talk today, because the sun has so many different and so many varying meanings for us. So for us it's normal to do this work because we're witches and occultists and pagans. But for people that aren't, you might think, well, I go outside and I can see the sun. Why do I need to connect with it? But it's that very deliberate intention to do this work. So why does the solstice sometimes fall outside of the 21st? Well, I'm actually compiling. I've done the first half of this year, and obviously I'm going to do the next part of this year. But it's an ongoing process of compiling a not calendar, because the word calendar actually has quite negative connotations to it, which is to do with Romans and taxes, which is a very interesting talk all by itself, I should think. So I'm calling it a not calendar, and I'm using the Old English word for moon, which is mona. So it's a not calendar, and it actually goes from each new moon around to the next new moon. New moon being not what most people think of the new moon. It's usually 2 days after the dark moon. But again, that's a talk for another time. And what's interesting is, I think, because obviously this is an unfolding process over a year, maybe 2, just to see if the longest day actually does fall on the same day each year outside of this Roman calendar. So I think it will, because the longest day is the longest day. Nature doesn't, nature doesn't have a calendar. What she has is cycles. So those cycles will peak at particular points and will balance at particular points. So it's going to be really interesting to see in my experiment if, these points, the equinoxes, the solstices, do actually fall on the same day outside of that Roman calendar. So watch this space. That's all I can say, because obviously it takes time to compile this calendar. So solar or sun magic. So I'm going to cover what it is, how we do it, and if there are any deities that you can connect with that can, I suppose, strengthen that practice or kind of amplify that practice. So sun magic. Now, before I start, I've got my little tuning fork. It's quite a large tuning fork. That's about a 13-inch tuning fork. And the frequency, so this is a planetary tuning fork, and the frequency that it is at is 126.2 hertz. So I'm hoping this is going to work. It did before when I did the other one, but this is a much lower frequency. So I'm hoping you'll be able to hear it. I think that's registering. So that is the frequency of our star, our sun. Now, what's interesting about the sound, so NASA, so years ago, back in 2012, when the Earth ascended, we were driven to create soundtracks and a yoga class around the planet sounds as an ascension tool. So what's really interesting is, so what NASA did is they collected, for a better word, the waveforms that planets emit, because everything is frequency, vibration, and sound. So planets, every planet, well, the whole universe, in fact, emits some kind of a frequency. So what NASA did, they gathered this information from each planet in the form of X-rays and other waveforms, and then transcribed them into sound. Now, the sound of the sun sounds like a roaring lion. For me, that's really cool because I'm a Leo. So it's amazing. You know, the frequency and the sounds, transcribed sounds, obviously, that are emitted by, you know, this being, which is our sun, our star. So sun magic, a lot of people consider the sun to be defined as a very projective masculine energy. It's a masculine aspect of creation, if you like. So the way I see it, that is partially true, but if you look at, so you have the sun as a body, and then you have the stuff that comes from the sun. So, you know, solar flares, coronal mass ejections, even the rays of the sun they're the projection of that being. So the way we see it, the actual being is more of a feminine energy, and it's the projections from the sun which are the masculine projective energy. So yeah, people look at me and they go, what are you talking about? Or they look at me and they go, oh my God, yeah, that makes complete sense. So you might ask, how do we know this? So through deity, there are, in this realm that we inhabit, there are goddesses who embody the fire elemental. There are goddesses who embody the power of stars. So, you know, from our own experience as witches and pagans, because we connect with so many different beings, it's unbelievable. And I'm going to talk more about deity at the end. But what we realize when, through connecting with, you know, a goddess of the sun and a god of the sun, they're very different. So that's kind of how I reached that conclusion, that there is a feminine aspect of the sun and a masculine aspect of the sun. But when you consider, if you want to deliberately connecting with this energy, the first place you start is, what for you personally, what is the significance of the sun for you? So it might sound like a stupid question, but I hate the sun. I used to hate the sun. I honestly, it's like, oh, just go away. So, you got to start there. What does the sun actually represent for you? Because it means different things for different people. Now, I love it. I love, all the seasons. If it's raining, it's raining. If it's not, it's not. So always begin with that question. So if you want to connect with the sun, our star, once you know that, the reason why and what the sun means to you, then you can set your intention. So the why and the how will then appear, for want of a better word. You might even be called by deity. That happens, I promise you. So for us, the sun is a messenger. It's also a kind of a relay. That's how, because everything is of the void. We know that. So when the void is creating and it pushes stuff out, which is us as well, obviously, because we are everything. Everything is everything. I don't want to get into that right now. So at the heart of this this realm that we are in, there is a central sun, which for me is like the hub. That's the hub of the wheel, and from there, this thing that we're walking through right now, this expansion of consciousness, the thing that is driving that is the central sun. So what the central sun is doing is it's sending out messages of like codes, whatever you want to call it, and what it does is it relays that information to each star that, some have beings that are on planets around it, some don't, or not, as the case may be, because who actually knows? I don't actually think the scientists really know. So it's basically relaying messages to each star, and then that star relays those messages to the beings that are moving around that star. So that's why we consider our sun to be a messenger. Obviously, it's the bringer of like codes, downloads, insights, whatever you want to call that. Relating to our true nature, because our sun and everything else in the universe is made of the same stuff that we are. So all we are really ever doing is reconnecting or restoring our being by connecting with our own sun. And it's a big part of the creator energy, as are we. So, like I said earlier, today is the longest day. So if you wanted to connect with, the sun's energy, this is the perfect time to do it. So how do we do this, Ange? Okay, so there are, as ever, many different ways to do this work. Just having a sip of tea. So again, it very much depends on what are your leanings? What is it that you enjoy the most, when you're being creative or, doing the things that you love to do. So for us, ritual is a big factor. Whether it's a short half-an-hour ritual or a 2-hour ritual, doesn't matter. It's how that is one of the big things that we use to connect to different energies. So the thing that we did on Sunday, we did a drawing down of the solar energy, which is similar. If any of you have ever done any moon rituals where you draw down the moon, it's similar. But the process is slightly different. And there's a specific pose. So when you're drawing down the moon, you come to goddess pose. So the pose that we use for drawing down the sun, and I cannot for the life of me remember where I picked this up from. It's just something we've been doing for years. It's called Oran's position, O-R-A-N. And it's basically you stand facing the sun, which is, on a day like today, it's quite obvious, but you might, if we got a white out, you might need to check what the time is and, where the sun is at that particular point. So Oran's pose, it's like you're making two L shapes with your arms, with your palms facing away from you. So your upper arm is parallel to the floor, and then your forearm is at right angles to the floor. And you keep them. It's a very interesting pose to hold for a while because it stretches the backs of your shoulders. Because you keep your arms the whole shape that it's parallel to each other, if that makes sense. Somewhere I do have a picture. I'd have to dig it out. We did actually record the ritual we did on Sunday. It's actually on our YouTube channel. It's the last video I uploaded, I think. So go and check it out if you're interested. There is also so that's the drawing down of the solar energy is a really good way to introduce yourself to that energy. We did it at the sunset, which is a nice energy. Midday energy could be a little bit fizzy. So if you're new to it, do sunrise or sunset energy and see how it feels. And then, once you get confident, then you can go for the pure midday energy, which would be, reasonably intense. But this is the experiment, see? So other things you can do to connect with solar energy, which is fire. Yeah, it's the fire elemental. Don't forget that. You've also got the invoking pentagram of fire, which you can combine with the drawing down. You can do the invoking pentagram of fire before or after you draw down the solar energy. So this is what I found with this invoking pentagram of fire. It is really good for your light activation, so your light body activation. It is amazing for that. And you could also incorporate that into a daily meditation practice. So before you sit for meditation at sunrise or as close to sunrise as you can get, that's like a little daily top up to keep your light burning. I mean, you could argue that it's not something you have to do because this activation is happening for everyone, but it's like any magical tool. The more you use it, the sharper it gets. So why not use it? That's what I say. So you can incorporate that if you wanted to into your other metaphysical practices, which you can also combine with the lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram or the lesser invoking ritual of the pentagram, depending how you want to start your day. which would kind of depend on your soul blueprint, but that's another talk for another day. So other ways you can connect with this solar energy, meditation with intention, mantra. One of the other things we did on Sunday is I was given a mantra. This was a few years ago now, when we had another troublesome neighbour. You don't know what I'm talking about. Listen to last week's video. So whoever moves in downstairs, they just create havoc. And I was given this. There was a mantra I was given to do on a Sunday, and I used to do it for this for an hour, and it was a really interesting energy. If you mantra for an hour, it's a very interesting process. And the mantra is power of the sun, majesty of the lion. So it's really good for Leo, but anyone can use it. It's not Leo specific, I promise, because the sun energy is very much a lion energy. So that's why I love it. So meditation with intention, mantra, obviously. You know, you can look on YouTube for all kinds of solar or sun mantras. My two favorite resonant languages are Sanskrit and Gurumukhi. Gurumukhi being the Kundalini language, if you like. But obviously, if you struggle with languages, then if you connect with the sun, you might just possibly get your own mantra, which is what happened with me. So be open to that, I would say. So obviously crystals. So crystals to connect with the sun. Well, the most obvious one is sunstone. Sunstone is gorgeous. And I have quite a few bits of sunstone, actually. I have a raw piece that's sitting right next to, I have two raw pieces, actually, that's sitting next to me right now. One is quite small. The other one is a massive, great big piece of raw sunstone with iolite. Now, what's really interesting, when you have those two together, not only is it going to connect you with the sun energy, is there's a I call it my happy-go-lucky stone. Those two together very much correspond to my happy-go-lucky thing, if you like. But also those two stones together are amazing. I'm using it with my declaration at the moment, and this crystal every day when I am doing that declaration, which I think that wasn't last week, I think that was the week before, I can't remember, I think it's the week before last. This crystal is activating every single time I am doing this declaration, when I'm using that as a type of meditation, if you like. And yeah, this this crystal, because I've got a really nice piece of a slice of iolite with sunstone, and it's like the night sky with stars in it. It is amazing. So it's connecting me with star energy. It's connecting with my third eye. Yeah, and I've had lots of activations around my third eye and my crown since I've been using that stone. So I would say sunstone and iolite, if you can find those two stones together in one stone, then fantastic. But you've got other stones as well. You've got, I'm just looking over there at my Sekhmet altar. She's got tiger's eye there. She's got sunstone. She's got citrine. She's got a piece of ruby. She's also got, what else has she got on there? She's got a piece of dragon's blood as well. Dragon's blood? or bloodstone. I think it might be bloodstone actually. Other crystals. Now, can I remember that one that I use a lot? Oh my goodness. It is not Himalayan, no. It's a golden, oh my goodness. What's it called? It's I can't remember. Still can't remember the name of that crystal, you know. But it's a light amplifier. Can't remember the name. That I will put the name of that crystal once I go and find it out after the chat. I will go and put it in there, because that I'm finding so in regards to the protection element that I was talking about last week, that crystal is an amazing one, not just for amplifying your light generally, but it's a really good one if you need to put out your defense screen. It's amazing for that. Other crystals, so I said citrine golden healer, another really amazing stone. What have I got on my altar over there? I have got some rhodonite. Love rhodonite. I've used rhodonite. I'm not wearing it at the moment. For healing my heart chakra, and it's done an amazing job on that, I have to say. What else have I got on there? I've got fire and ice quartz is quite an interesting one for solar connection. I've got a little bit of sulfur down there, just because I like sulfur, really. Optical calcite. Oh my goodness. Optical calcite is a really good one for connecting with any kind of fire energy. So that includes the sun. And it also, because your pineal gland is made of optical calcite. Yes, I'm going to say that again. Your pineal gland is made of optical calcite, which is why that is your seat of your expanding consciousness, if you like. It's kind of like, you know, the way I see that is it's like it works a bit like a lighthouse. That's how I see it. So it's almost scanning. I don't know if that's the right word, but you know what I mean. You get the idea. It's like you can use your pineal gland and that optical calcite to actually project. If this is I don't know what you guys call it. I call it this normal magic, but some people might think this is a bit complicated. But we use magic mirrors as a psychomantium to project using the energy from your heart moving up to the third eye, and then project that out to create, I suppose, your unfolding synchro-mystic path. That's probably the most simple way I can say that. But yeah, optical calcite is amazing for connecting with solar energy or fire energy. What else have I got on that altar over there? I've got some fire agates. I've talked about fire agate before. Fire agate's amazing. What else have we got there? Orange calcite, amazing. Carnelian. So I'm just looking over there. Oh, there's a piece of astrophyllite. Oh my god, that is pure star energy. That is. Highly recommend that. There's also some dumortierite and some nummite. There's a really nice, I've got a really nice piece of sun pyrite, which is actually, it's almost etched on it a picture of a sun with the rays. So you can actually see that, those two aspects, the feminine aspect and the masculine aspect on this crystal. It's amazing. What else have I got on there? I've got some, what's that? That is not tourmalated, rutile quartz, which again can have rutile is, it can range in colour from like a golden colour to almost like a rusty colour. So it kind of spans the colours of the sun, the different kind of colours from gold all the way through to orange. So that's quite an amazing stone. I think there is also a piece of what is that? Oh, tiger iron as well, which is like another form of tiger eye. Obviously got more iron in it, but that's quite a nice stone as well. If you want more kind of warrior energy, tiger iron. What else have I got down there? Oh, topaz. Oh, blue and clear topaz. Love those. They also connect with Jupiter as well, which is part fire, part air. So Jupiter is my favourite planet. There is also, what else is there? I can't see from here what else is there. But so there are many crystals. Quartz as well. Quartz is amazing. So there are many crystals that you can use. So I would always go with what you're drawn to for connecting with this solar energy. Obviously frequencies. So I played the sun tuning fork for you. So you've got different frequencies actually. You've got the frequency of the planet, of the planetary body of the sun, if that makes sense. You've also got a frequency of what note would that be? C. Hang on, let me work this out. C, D, E. You got the note of E, either in 440 or 432 tuning, doesn't matter, which is your solar plexus. Yeah. But then you've also got the, and I think this would tie up with the frequency of the planetary body of the sun, which is the frequency you use for the metaphysical chakra energy, as opposed to the tuning of the physical body. So there's two different types of chakra balancing you can do with tuning forks. One is metaphysical, the other one is physical. So there's a little bit on the frequencies. You've also got the sounds of the sun that NASA did their magic on, which I say that sounds like a roaring lion, and it is amazing. Candle magic. Candle magic is such an amazing way to connect with solar energy and fire. I mean, if you can, build a fire in a fire pit in your back garden, you can certainly use, that to connect with the energy of the sun. You'd even throw some frankincense into the fire. It's always interesting when you throw incense into a fire because it does magical things. So if you were going to use candle magic, for example, you could scribe your intention on the candle. You could dress the candle with oil that connects with the sun. You could, if you wanted to, set up an altar. I'm going to talk a bit more about deity in a minute, but I don't know. There's something about candle magic, because it's so visceral, because you can see it and you can experience it in that moment. You can observe the candle. What is it doing? Even the drip pattern of the wax. You can, do divination with that to get answers, or, to tune in to, the sun or a particular deity. Obviously, you got the obvious things: walking in the sun, taking in that energy, which is amazing in itself. Sun gazing, which you do either at sunrise or sunset. I'm not going to say why, because we're all adults here. What is really cool actually is if you can pick up a pair of polarizing lenses for your I've got they're cycling glasses, but one of the lenses that you can put on them is a polarizing lens. That is really interesting. When you look at the sun when it's low through those lenses, it's quite interesting. Prisms. So this is a really cool thing. I used to sell them. They're like these. They're a little bit like Christmas tree ornaments, but they're prisms that you can hang from windows so the sun catches them. And then you get these amazing effects around your room. You know, why not? Create a bit of magic in your living room. Burning incense. So, you know, if you enjoy making incense, you could make a sun incense, or you can make an incense for a particular solar deity, or you could just burn frankincense. Frankincense corresponds with the sun, as does copal. Just thinking of resins off the top of my head. Blub, 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 blub. I can't think of the other one. Pine resin. Oh, there's another one. I can't think of it at the top of my head. No, it's gone. So yeah, but burning those things, what that does, if you set the intention before you burn it, that this, you know, will aid you to connect with the solar energy or with the deity, yeah. And again, you can use that for divination if you wish, or you can just use it with the intention of connecting with that. You know, if you open your window, it's a bit like the old way of smoking tobacco was to release your intentions to the spirits. I think that's a Native American thing, but I don't know. I just know that was something that used to be done with tobacco. What else? So you can make sigils created with the energy of the sun. So anything that you create, whether it's a sigil or a talisman or a picture, you know, and it's got your intention in it. Intention is 99% of universal law. So anytime you create something that you are intending to be used as a vehicle, for a better word, for connecting with the sun or connecting with a solar deity, you know, that's powerful. I think we are taught to greatly underestimate our power and our, you know, how powerful intention is. You know, we're kind of not, well, we know why we're not taught that stuff. I don't need to tell you guys about that. We know why that is. Things like, so if you love planting things, but you want to plant with the intention of connecting to the sun or a solar deity, you know, there are certain plants that correspond with certain deity. That's fine. But how about some sunflowers? I remember years ago, I had a small forest of sunflowers and it was glorious. I'd never seen anything like it before, and I'd never done anything like that before. But it was amazing. It was like a mini forest of sunflowers, and it was pure magic. Also marigolds. Marigolds are a very good flower for connecting with the sun or a solar deity. What else? Fairy lights. You can't go wrong with fairy lights, because you know what? Fairy lights are for life, not just for Crimbo. That's what I say. We've actually got some in the shape of stars, so that's even better. Even pictures of the sun, you know, if you make, or you know, if you feel like you can't create that kind of a picture, you know, you can either go down the road of, you know, solar photography, which is quite nice, or a really nice print of the sun, you know, and use that to connect with that energy, especially in the winter when, pardon me, we feel like we can't connect with the sun. We can, because it's always there. But we feel we can't because it's cold and it's damp and you can't see it and there's a whiteout or whatever. But you can certainly connect with it. Because I don't know about you guys, but we've certainly been feeling the effects of these, of all this solar activity that's been going on. We feel it. So be under no illusion that you can't connect to it, because you can. So yeah, pictures of the sun or a deity that you want to connect with. It's all tools that enable us to connect with this energy, which I think right now is even more, I'm not going to say important, but well, yeah, no, it is important actually. Because the sun is very active right now. So if we are connected to it, then we can ride that wave with awareness, as opposed to, stick your fingers in your ears and go la, 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 and it's going to be quite bumpy, from my perspective anyway. So I just want to quickly talk about deities, and then if anyone has any questions, because I've just realised what the time is, but we can go over today, so that's really cool. So deities, okay. So as with all these things, there are many. You only have to do a little Google search and there are tons and tons and tons of deities. So you can either go with, I think, let me just have a look on my bookshelf. I think, can I find it? Can I find it quickly? Oh, I don't know. Is it there? Yes, there it is. Pagan Portals. Written by Rachel Patterson. She's okay, actually. She's not too bad. She's written a book on sun magic. So that's Pagan Portals. It's a little thin book. All the Pagan Portals books are. Pagan Portals, Sun Magic by Rachel Patterson. Go and grab a copy of that if you're interested in, because it's got lots of different ideas in there. I think there are, let me just have a quick look. Solar deities, yeah. So it gives you some examples of how you can connect in there. So that's a good place to start. I like books. So, if you're not sure, then that's a place to start. But it does kind of depend on, where are you in the world? What's the land that you're on? You might feel like you want to connect to the solar deity of that land, which I understand completely. It could even be that you just have a preference for a particular pantheon. That's okay too. So for us, we have a few. I think I can't remember what my last count was of how many beings we connect with, but it's quite a few. So a few of the ones are from this little group of islands that we're sitting on right now. Others are from, across the sea and even back into the ages of the dawn of time. So some of the ones we connect with, solar deities, that we connect with. We got Brid, also known as Bridget, and Lu. So Lu, both of these deities are of the Tuatha De Danann. So they are the shining ones, literally the shining ones. So for me, this indicates some kind of ancient being, alien or not alien. They're an ancient race who were here in the time of what people call Summerlands or Shangri-La or Eden. They were here originally. And we are shining ones. Yes, that's this whole thing that we're going through, this expansion of consciousness. That is what we are. We are becoming shining ones. Okay, be under no illusion. So Bridget, or Brit, brings the nurturing fire aspect. So she is, she's represented by creativity, poetry, protection of children and women and bees and cows, funny enough. So she's there's this nurturing side, which is why, I really do, I know that there are two aspects to the sun. There is the feminine aspect as well. And that's why, because of a being called Brid, or Bridget. Yeah. So she is a protector. She is creative. She's the keeper of the sacred flame, for goodness sake. That's your light. She's a keeper of the sacred flame. Lou brings the light warrior energy. And he's a master of all things. He is an all-father God. And he teaches you how to use your divine will, but also not just to be master of all things, but to be master of that as well. And, that because when you are activating your light and you're doing that inner work, yeah, there with that, and this is a much overused phrase, comes great power and great responsibility. So, that is also taught that, yes, you might be this very powerful being, but there's a responsibility with that. So you can certainly learn that through connecting with Lou. Ishtar. She, again, we have a light warrior. That's her energy, but she is also a nurturer and the embodiment of being a sovereign being. Yeah. So there's that dual aspect again. So she's a nurturer, but she is also a warrior. Yeah. And she is represented by the 8-pointed star and also the planet Venus. So you have star energy and you have Venus energy. So they're two, you got projective, star, and Venus, which is the feminine aspect. So, it's both. Solar energy is both, from my perspective. Sekhmet. Now, Sekhmet, she is much maligned, much like Ishtar, actually. She's a dark goddess. Yeah, she is, actually. But she's also very much about this time right now. So Sekhmet, she's the daughter of Ra. So she is the daughter of the sun. So she is of the sun. So she is the sun. She wears a solar disc over her head. She's a lion. And she's very empowering. If you connect with Sekhmet, you can bet your bottom dollar that you will be shown things that you did not know before. 100%. Because she teaches about this time of awakening that we are in right now. But also that nurturing, she will guide you through the alchemization of the dense crap. Yeah. We do actually have a series of guided meditations, which we kind of, so little side note here, when we connected with Sekhmet, we found a book by Nikki Scully where there were these amazing meditations written down, but for me, I couldn't meditate reading at the same time. So we did what we do. We created these amazing immersive meditations using Nikki Scully's book as a foundation. And if people are interested, we just give them, we give them out to people as a series of things, as an alchemization process. So it takes you through a whole alchemization process where you connect with your Neteru family. They're amazing. And thank you, Nikki Scully, for the book, because we couldn't have done it without that book. So Sekhmet very much is about this. I've not been using the term 5D, but that expansive energy, yeah, that creator energy. Very much about the Kundalini rising. So that's your energetic body awakening, if you like. And she is a fierce warrior of light when it's needed. But she also embodies the healer energy. And also, more importantly, I think, being a guardian of this realm and especially of this planet. You know, there is she also represents Ma'at, which is the truth. Yeah. So the truth of who you actually are. Yeah. Your true nature, which is a being of light. I could talk about Sekhmet for hours. So Thoth. I love Thoth. He is a master alchemist, but using words. He alchemizes using words, spells, in other words. For me, he's definitely of the quantum realm, because words create reality. So for me, he's of the quantum realm, and he's a teacher. He embodies the rising sun energy. So it's a very gentle energy compared to Sekhmet energy, which is the midday, so the full-on blazing sun energy. Yeah. And there's kind of a grace in Thoth, because he is the ibis, very graceful bird, but very precise. So there is a grace there, but the precision with which he uses his words is quite awe-inspiring, I would say. So that's just a few of deities that we connect with, but they're the main solar ones that we connect with. There are other beings we connect with that connect to sun energy or fire energy, but obviously I could talk about those for hours on end, but I'm not going to. So did anyone have anything that they wanted to say or share, or tell me to shut up? I don't care. I don't mind.
Thank you, Andy. I'm just going to let everybody know that I've just found the Sun Magic book by Rachel Patterson, and right next to it was the Moon Magic book by Rachel Patterson, so I've shared that as well.
Cool.
And I've also found the Nikki Scully Alchemical Healing PDF file as well, so that's there now. All three are there together. If anyone's listening to this on the recording, you can search Holistic Radio in the file section and you'll find those 3 books.
Thank you, Andy. Cool. Did anyone have any questions about what I've just rambled on about?
Mute. There we go. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, I've actually I left you for about 10 minutes. I went up the road to pick some poppies and grasses for this ceremony, and I don't know, whilst you were talking, it was really funny because I thought, what can I take to the ceremony that I'm going to tonight? And I thought, I know what, because we're going to have a fire. Cool. I'm going to make some incense like you taught us how to do.
Cool.
So, and as I was mixing it up, you started talking about making incense with the fire. Just wanted to tell you, how lovely these synchronicities are.
Oh, they're amazing. Wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So I didn't follow a recipe. I just used my kind of whatever. So I used a popanax and a bit of hajari incense,
nice.
For the resin.
Yeah.
And then I put fresh basil and fresh sage from the garden.
Nice.
And then I I tried to put myrrh oil in, but it wouldn't come out the bottle. So I thought, you don't want to go in there, so we'll forget that.
Yeah, myrrh doesn't correspond to sun. That's why I didn't want to go in there.
That's why.
Myrrh is earth and the moon.
Well, I guess we were told to bring something for every element. But anyway, I'm concentrating on fire and sun, to be sure.
Yeah.
So I put the oil.
You're breaking up, Val.
Oh, how many?
Can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
So I put in frankincense, pine and orange
Nice.
oils, and it smells beautiful.
Yeah. The fire incense is one of my favorites. It's just phenomenal, and it always makes these really cute little spirals as it's burning.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah, well, if I see anything tonight, I'll let you know.
Cool.
Thank you.
Did anyone have anything they wanted to share or ask anything about? It's all gone quiet.
They've all gone shy on you.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, they've definitely all gone shy.
Yeah, all gone. Is anyone doing any rituals or anything this evening?
I'll be having a fire pit this evening. Nothing spectacular, just an intention fire pit where I'll sit there and meditate on the flames.
Cool.
I'm burning up old wood that I've collected over the year or so.
Cool.
So that will be my little bit.
Excellent.
One thing I will ask you,
Yeah.
while everyone else is shy, I have in my garden. I have a pentagram candle holder.
Yep.
So it has these small little cups that you can put a tea light candle in, and there's at different points around the pentagram candle.
Yeah.
I had an idea today. It just popped in there, you know how it does.
Yep.
Instead of putting candles in, what I want to do is I want to put crystals in each of the points of the pentagram.
Yep.
Or in these little glass cups.
Yep.
So what would you advise? Obviously, you've got fire, earth, wind, water, and spirit.
Yep.
What 5 crystals would you suggest would be good to place in each of the glass containers?
Wait, it does depend what you got to hand, or if you want to buy extra crystals.
I will be buying it. I haven't got anything to hand, so I will be having to buy them in. So your suggestions will go a long ways to deciding what I get.
So for spirit, I'd probably go with a quartz, a clear quartz.
Okay.
Air, I would go for any kind of light blue stone. So something like blue lace agate, or what's that one called? Blue blah blah. It's called. No. God damn it, my brain. Air. So blue topaz or any kind of light blue stone would work.
Right. Yeah.
Fire. Fire agate or fire and ice or citrine or orange calcite or fire agate.
Okay.
Water. You could go aquamarine or fluorite or just what I've got on there actually. What have I got on there? What's that called? Moonstone would be good as well.
Moonstone for
water.
For water. All right. Okay.
Or aquamarine or fluorite. And for earth, aragonite is very good because that's an earth protector.
Sounds like you've got an earthquake going on in the background.
That's not me. I think that might be Val.
That's learning. That's me. Oh, you guys. That's learning. Sorry.
Yeah, so for the earth, you could go with aragonite or any kind of agate. Brown agate is really good. If you can get hold of, it's not always possible, but a black calcite or a black kyanite, they're really good earth crystals. Or carnelian. Yeah. Has that covered them all?
Thank you for that.
I think that's covered them all, isn't it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
If not, I can always message you for more information.
Yes, indeed.
So I think we've given everyone an opportunity to combat the shyness, and no one's done that and they've muted themselves and spoke. Although I do see Dolly's there, who's away on holiday. Still taken to come and join us. So hi, Dolly.
Hi, Dolly.
Shalina. Hi, Carly and Jackie and Val, who's got an earthquake going on in the background.
Okay, well, if no one's got any questions, I mean, you can always message me if you do have any questions around, ritual or connecting with, any of these things that I've spoken about. I don't bite, mostly.
Only at night.
Only at night, yeah. Or when the moon is full. So, yeah, thank you for showing up, guys, and for listening to me ramble on. And I'm not sure what next week's one is yet. I haven't come up with anything. I mean, would anyone want to do like a Q&A type thing about magic?
Sounds, well, we do that anyway, don't we? Like, we're doing that now. We can ask you questions. But yeah, I suppose that would be a good idea.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe put a what's that?
I know.
What?
Because I shared Rachel Patterson's sun magic and moon magic. Do you want to do one on moon magic?
I could do, actually, because it's full moon on Saturday. So yeah, I could do a full moon magic. Yeah.
We could tie those two books in together then.
Yeah, I like that. Sounds good. Yeah. I like talking moon magic.
It's just a thought. Something else may come along and inspire you into something completely different.
Oh, it does happen sometimes.
Oh, it does.
Okay, folks. Well, thank you for joining us this evening. I'm just going to stop the recording. Stop recording. Stop. Thank you. Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's done.
So, if people are shy and don't want to be recorded, now's the time to speak because the recording is now finished. Speaking of shy folk, Carly, I've got a quick question while you're on. Have you got yourself another account? Because somebody called Carly Stone has joined Holistic Radio.
Completely guilty, yes. It's me. I have another Andy. I couldn't make the others work, and now I couldn't make that one work, and now I'm making this one work. I don't really know what I do with these technologies. I think they send me mental, and I think I send them back some sort of vibes that just disable them.
Right, I thought you'd been cloned at first.
No, I think I'm no, it's me. They're all parts of me. It's real.
That's your multifaceted being coming through there.
Yes.
And I can tell you it's on its own vibration somewhere. Look, come down, come back.
What you want to do is you want to get a little profile picture that just says, "It's me."
I'm
like
getting that one of the whiteness. Yeah, no, that is me, Andy. And I was trying to download some things into the saved messages, and then I was trying to find Elv so I could send them to her, and I couldn't do it. Although Elv is programmed into this phone with the phone number, so I'll step away from it, leave that phone alone, and go back to the other phone and see if that one worked. And it worked. So I was like, okay, that's fine.
Fair enough. Oh, well, that's my confusion now dealt with and cleared up. So that's great. As long as I know there's 2 Carly Stones out there, life's good.
There we go, Andy. And I think there's another one for me as well that I don't think is that name. It's Carly something else.
Oh.
I think they're full phones, really. Wow. Yes, let's get out of this program. Thank you, Angie. I appreciate that.